Are they going to go the same route or are they going to go a different one?
Yeah. In terms of their picks earlier, it was Arlott and a Franco. Honestly, I don't see so much problems with picking those up again. Again, they were just the victims of a great game by Sands and at the same time some questionable early game decision making, but we'll see.
Arlott Kufra makes sense as well now. Maybe they just change it up a bit, but no, they change it up completely, but they still double down on the fact that the carry is the way to go up against the Claude. Now, we mentioned this earlier a bit already, but the carry really doesn't bully the Claude as much as you would think. Again, back in the previous patches, it does. There's no way you do anything on the Claude, but now it's completely different, especially if you go Brave Smite, then yeah, the carry's not gonna have a good time.
Honestly, I think it really depends on who they choose in the mid lane, right? Because I get that the matchup isn't too favorable for the carry, especially in this current meta, but if you're able to secure a really strong mid lane with high rotations, then that should help out the carry, which is not what we saw in game number 1, where they were able to punish the carry so much.
Yeah.
But with Joy being picked up now, question mark.
I think right now for RSG, they just really like the carry, not necessarily for the matchup against a Claude, but really it looks like it's a comfort for Eman. His best performing heroes are the carry and the Claude. 3 MVP performances as a carry by Eman, 2 for the Claude. So I think it boils down to more of a, he's in the zone with it. Why not just go ahead and prioritize it? So go in the second phase, Masha getting taken away. So it's sort of like RSG are adapting really well. Still reactive, but in the sense of, oh, we saw your strength in this drafting style in game number 1. We're gonna follow a similar trend early on, but then start switching things up as it goes on.
I like the micro adjustments made by RSGPH, even though the carry doesn't completely bully the Claude now in lane. Remember, mid-game, you still do the same job. The same reason it was picked a while ago, when the carry was obviously still meta against the Claude, is because of that mid-game. Once you get the Corrosion side, the HS Golden Staff, you're back. You're back to the same power that you had before. It's just the laning phase that gets really difficult for you, and we did see a reflection of that in game number 1.
So I'm curious as to see how this mid lane is going to go, right? But look at this, Onic, they're actually opting to take away the Esmeralda instead, realizing that it is a potential counter towards the Joy. The fact that she's able to create shielding, it can be absorbed. But now, the question is what's going to happen in this EXP lane? Even before this match begun, we already centered focus on this. EXP.
Yeah.
With Masha taken out,
it might actually be one of the options. Paquito, Terizla, Uranus are some of the best options for NAF still available right now. So with Terizla gone, it's gonna be either the Uranus or the Paquito.
if this comes out as Paquito for Onyx, then they totally set it up.
Yeah.
But no, they go for an Arlet instead.
I mean, again, the carry here, if you go on the Arlet, you're kind of forcing the carry to go Purify. Once you do that, yeah, Claude's even gonna have an even better time than in lane up against the carry, bullying her even more. And the fact that if she goes for the Purify, the reason they want to force a Purify on the carry is because they also have a Joy.
Yeah.
It's much harder to catch someone with a Flicker than a Purify. Joy's gonna eat her up.
Yeah. So for RSG here, I'd like to see them pick up the Uranus. The Uranus pickup would be relatively okay. You see,
Stand out.
Unfortunately,
stand out. My goodness.
it's the box.
Yeb's got you too.
Yep, got me too. So yeah, it might be the Paquito here. Unless they really want to fight, then they just end up picking a Dairoth or Glue, but Faramis is still open. Sans can pick it up. It'll still be a great pickup.
Yeah, maybe a bit of an oversight here.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing, guys.
Hermes.
Oh man. No way, no. How could that be an oversight?
Well,
With the Faramis being picked up, that just really negates the pressure that Glue can actually have in the lane, in the team fights.
if it's not going to be the Faramis, I mean, they can still pick up other routes, but nope. Oh, it's an Angela.
That's a curveball.
Okay.
Big curveball, massive curveball.
Yep.
All right.
I am scared. Onic draft looks so good.
So that's why they banned the Esme.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expected that Angela last pick, but that is the beauty of flexibility. Let's go call the casters. How do you think this is going to go out?
You know what? Something tells me Coach Yeb may have even played us over here, and we can't help but discuss what else is left. Because Gideon, paint me perplexed. I don't know what's going on.
Yep, I'm already getting into the Yeb pose. Hopefully, walking in his footsteps will help me understand his brain because, man, the first half of that draft was good, but that second half took it another level. Welcome back, everybody. In case you are just tuning in, this draft, I wasn't expecting to see it, but Sans this time is going to have to take a step back. He's going to be on this Angela, and he's going to be playing a support role rather than getting information and hard carrying the team.
We've seen a couple of mid lane Angelas in the group stages, and at best, I have mixed feelings. But I'd like to echo just what you said. The second half of that draft, we got M. Night Shyamalan. it came out of nowhere, and the answers that we thought were so obvious, even in the minds of these world-class coaches in Coach Yeb and Coach Theo, weren't as simple. It wasn't as black and white. So with an out of the ordinary draft, we can expect an out of the ordinary game. Does the logic follow?
Yeah, the logic follows perfectly fine if people get our drift, but let's get into it. I want to see how these interactions are going to work because I love the idea of banning out the Esmeralda. We've seen Nats pull it out before, but to set it up as a way to, really force down onto this Angela, even smarter. The real question is, who does Angela uses the Heart Guard on? Is he going to go look at CW, or is he going to put it onto Kyrie in the jungle with Joy?
Here's the thing. I think everyone but Keyboy is a valid target. Here we go. Let's get into the Land of Dawn for game number 2. It's match point for the current reigning and defending MSC champions as they vie to knock down the recently revived, rejuvenated, and reactivated MSC 2020 roster in RSG PH. Something to note here, Gideon, and this is an opinion of mine. I don't know how you feel about it and the folks back at home, but the lineup on RSG PH, even with the Angela, especially with the Angela, feels like they're gonna have to take their time with the damage. Nothing comes quick. There's a lack of burst.
There is a significant lack of burst, and this is a little reminiscent of the previous series where when Bigatron and Alpha are very much dedicated into making sure that their marksman is going to be the overall carry and majority damage dealer for their team lineup, and it makes sense, right? Like RSGPH, their lineup is literally all about peel. If they have a traditional front to front, it might be a little bit difficult for Onic, but Coach Yeb, with the way that he's drafted and the way he set up boots on this Arla, he is getting ganked, but can he get out of this? Force the flicker, at least they got a resource out of him.
He's doing fine, he's all right. Up top though, let's check in on the rotations as Light juggles Keyboy and Kyrie very low.
He's getting way too low here, and Light has to use that flicker. Aqua just keeping an eye on him, making sure that if he is needed, he's able to respond. No early double kill for Onic just yet.
Yep, just as that happened, a slight tease of what's to come. We showed the emblems, and there's nothing much out of the ordinary, save for maybe the fact that Nat's glue is rocking a common emblem.
The biggest problem nowadays, especially if you are... Wait, hold on here. Nat's having to use split super early on to hold them hostage for as long as possible. He's going to get on top of Boots here. Ooh, doesn't pull him back into the pit, but instead Boots able to use the Vengeance to close the distance towards that gold crab. Looks like Kyrie, if he's thinking about it, one last dash. Hard guard activated. Like Divine Beats, and he takes it away. Demon Kai trying to run, but Puppet on a string immobilizes him. Final slash coming in for Boots to try and catch anybody. Onic back off, and RSGPH, they lose a turtle.
That which RSGPH lacks, Onic provided. You see that burst? You see Kyrie taking the stacks from the gold buff and like already 3, 2, poof, plus the retry. Could have sworn this young man had 2 thumbs on his right hand.
It's so visual.
No, because that's what we saw, right? Like that's exactly how you explain how Kyrie stole the turtle for Onic, because you could have sworn RSG was gonna have it.
I agree. I totally agree with you here. But with the rotation coming in from Kyrie, RSGPH are giving him a lot of respect. They know that in this stage of the game, he is going to have some relevant damage if he has electrifying beats ready to go. But like Mirko mentioned earlier, right? They were hoping to put Iman on that Purify, force him into that situation. But Iman, he's like, no, I'm going to greed out for this. As long as I don't get hit, I'm going to be able to flicker out of some tight situations.
Yep, this is martial arts fundamentals. Don't make your block just a block. turn it into an attack. So as he flickers back, he's throwing out more light wheels. So that's where he's put in to this machination of RSGPH's all-in lineup. We'll see how that works and exactly when it kicks into gear, because as it is, there's very little damage that RSGPH is presenting.
Yeah, it really is. Iman, he really has to pull out some Wing Chun here to make sure that Onic, it doesn't really get to punish him. But it's tough. It's really, really tough, right? Because if we're talking about deep striking missiles, Kyrie, #1. And it's reinforced with the extra bit of shields coming in from the hard guard. Aqua flickering forward, but doesn't find enough distance to land the Divine Judgment.
Since game 1, and this is coming from a big Aqua fan, Aqua's been playing un-Aqua-like. This is uncharacteristic of this mid laner. I'm a big fan of him. Could have sworn he was going to get the nod for MVP in MSC 2022, but here, it's difficult to imagine how they're going to ramp up into the mid game. He gets caught by an ultimate splash!
Yep, he pulls on in, and here we go! Numenor blast on to 3, but Kyrie's walking right on up. Demon Kite's able to take the turtle just in time. Electrifying beats, dealing some decent damage, but really isn't enough. Aqua's death allowing RSGPH to take a turtle.
All right, it could have been worse, but at least, okay, hear me out. Weird trades like that couldn't be punished as hard as usual is good for a lineup that wants to scale. Unless it was a total wipeout or a huge trade like a 2-for-1, 3-for-1, this will help RSGPH's all in the long run. But you still got to get there. Again, that's been the story since game 1, right? You can get inches, but how do you get through the last stretch, the home stretch, that final mile?
I think, when the time comes, that's when RSGPH will start thinking about it, right? Because they just want a team fight. They want to slow things down. And as long as they are at least within arm's reach of Onic, they've got a really good chance. On the opposite end, right? Onic, they probably want to be the ones being the aggressors. Wait, hold on. We see once again, Kyrie is able to get on top of Iman. The quick flicker isn't enough for the electrifying beats. He closes the distance. Demon Kite locks him down. Numenor blast as well has been utilized. Sands! It takes big damage, but they've already lost Kyrie. Iman and Light are down. And now the chase coming in as Nats is able to join in the middle of the fights. Boots nowhere to be seen. Keyboy will fall for a 2-for-2 trade.
Scrappy team fight and an eventual victory for RSGPH, but what has that bought for Onic? Well, an opening down bottom. Boots is gonna make the most of this absence in the bottom lane, and he's gonna push tier 1, shrinking the map for Eman. And this opens up a problem. Oh wait, close call. Kyrie secures.
Nope, he secures, but let's also notice the collapse on towards Light's side. Iman popping his ult as well. Boots forcing to flicker on out of there. And funny enough, Sans not even thinking about saving Boots' life. He knows he's going to be okay. Stop side. Potential dive coming up as CW. Oh, the Heart Guard is going to save his life from this dive. Nats and Aqua, they're on the run. But CW is like, no. Yes, pull me closer. I want to get closer to Aqua. But no, it's fine. Keyboy down, and as well as calling in Kyrie. They want to dive 2v2 electrifying beats as well. Locking him down. They finally kill on towards Aqua's side, and now Nats all by himself without split is left to dry underneath his turret. That's going to be 2 kills for the side of Onic.
Oh man, art imitates life, just like how we are in the home of Onic in Jakarta. They're making the Land of Dawn the same thing. It's like they're in control of every single entry point, and Onic knew clearly that RSGPH were taking the turtle, and they made the most of it and punished top lane.
CW is trying to clear up this wave. It's blazing too wet. Even Sans holding on to his trigger finger. Boots is taking way too much damage, and all right, he gets the back off for now. Even RSGPH respect the fact that the Heart Guard is quite the hair puller.
All right, looking at the item game so far, Nats has a interesting build here. He wants to respect the damage that Kyrie and Sans are putting on the board, and then from there he'll build physical defense. Looking at Aqua, has a Clock of Destiny here. Eman at least is just down to 100, 300 gold.
Well, that's actually not too bad considering everything that's happened across the game. With the biggest lead going on to Kyrie so far with a 1.2k lead, it's great, right? Holy Crystal, 8 minutes into the game.
And you can expect that the Blood Wings are up next, right? That's just how Joys are built in the current metagame. RSGPH making the most of the relative silence in team fights for the past couple of minutes, pushes up top. This is already, Gideon, I gotta say, much better than game one.
Significantly better, in a matter of fact. However, I am a little concerned for Aqua right now. Let's see whether he recovers from that sort of mental damage after not having to play the game at all to now, possibly being the key to breaking open Onic.
All right. Some good news to that. Again, the bad news is exactly what happened already. The good news is something tells me maybe he's loading. Maybe he's downloading what happened in game one. And so far, what the early and mid-game looks like here, and then eventually he'll break out into those last moments from game one. Remember that, wherein they played that defense in the base so well? And now it's all the more possible. The propensity for plays like that to happen in game two has just skyrocketed.
And that's why RSGPA just making sure that mid-tier 1 does not fall. They don't mind having no side turrets at all, because that means Onic would have to go super deep in if they want to even put any points of damage into the inhibitor turrets.
Yep, again, taken off from where they left off in game one playing Possum, but here they're keeping it closer to their chest. Onic with a 2,000 gold lead, and RSGPH says to that in their face, how about we dance? Lord Dance already up, 9 minutes, 30 seconds in. Boots?
He's going to take a little bit of damage here. Sans, it doesn't look like the hard guard's coming out just yet. He's ready for it. He's waiting for it. Boots, he's able to go. Kyrie, in the matter of fact, actually gets the hard guard into the middle with the electrify beats. The damage is good. Aqua is gone. Numenor Blast trying to disengage. It's tough, but Boots falls down to Nats and CW. Despite it all, that sprint is keeping him nice and healthy. He's kiting out of his mind.
Oh, split will not save Nats. Kyrie pops him. 2 for 1, and eventually Onic turns to the Lord.
Yep, they want even more than this. They want to break this tier 1. They want to speed up this game. The tempo increases for Onic.
Lord here, 3/4 of its health down and up, approaching halfway point. 10.5 minutes in. Yeah, they're gonna blitz it. Onic is gonna score this major objective.
Sans, once again, just taunting, right? He doesn't even need to be part of these fights. He can split push on the side, and Kyrie can help fix the bottom side towards the neutral objective, and they just work in tandem so well.
That's a thing of pure terror. It's a hero with very little mobility, just standing there. And you know that one of those players' thumbs are on the recall button. That's what Sans does. That's the psychological warfare that he's committing, right? And people online saying, why is Sans doing that? Why is that? Imagine that being done to you in a ranked game. Exactly.
And the rest of your teammates, especially if you're an EXP laner, why aren't you clearing the waves? Why aren't you part of the fight? There's just no winning it. You can't be in two places at once. But now, with the lore crashing on, and let's see how Onic responds, because it feels like Onic, they don't want to press the advantage any more than this. It feels like it's a liability to actually walk with these big waves.
And that's a clear sign that Onic have been learning from the lessons in the group stages. A lot of the moments that put them in hot water were in where they overextended. Hell, we just saw that in game one, right? Wherein RSGPH played Possum and hooked them into their base and punished them for an almost seemingly instant comeback, but it's not as easy, right? It doesn't happen like that. But right now, looking at Onic with a 5K gold lead approaching the 12-minute mark, Lord coming in a minute and a half about. It's difficult, but RSGPH are in a better state. I'm wondering if Eman is ready. What's Eman building right now? What's he got? Oh, 3 core items on the way to his 4th.
Oh.
A Wind of Nature.
Okay, that's good. That's really, really good to hear. As soon as he gets that Winds of Nature, he can actually go toe-to-toe against CW. I'm guessing CW already has his Winds of Nature immediately built, considering the amount of gold that Onic has right now.
He does, homie does. So that's what buys him the 1,000 gold ahead he has. 1,000 and change at that. So that's one dynamic that they have to think about. RSGPH, they have to get everything right, man. Aqua has to have the DJ, or at least the final slash, one or the other.
Now that Kyrie's, he's 2 level ahead of Demon Kai, right? So I guess this is what Onic is waiting for. We're gonna play around neutral objectives. We need to make sure that we don't get hit by lightning, especially when you're Joy and you're able to dodge big CC. With the hard guard, it gives you just another layer of complexity.
Yep. Talking about Kyrie, there's the aforementioned Bloodwings. So all the more, he's so difficult to kill, and he spouts out just that much more damage. Now looking at the engage, looking at the angles. Oh man, here's something I miss. Light finding himself all the way in the back. If you'll remember, folks, in recent history, I'm talking maybe 6-9 months back, you know how Light finds these odd bushes that you could have sworn he couldn't have gotten there? It's so odd. RSGPH are playing so conservative now.
Exactly, but Onic, you've seen their preparation before. That's how they won game number 1, right? Just raw preparation. Coach Jeb's genius, the pose, it all comes in together.
That's right, and now, come to think of it, maybe it's less how RSGPH are conservative. Maybe Onic are just cleaning up these bushes so well that Light can find himself in. Again, it's Boots here at the front.
All right, okay, CW, he has to kite this a little bit better, but now instantaneously you see that Kyrie in with the electrifying beats as well, and the hard got on towards Nats' side. That Athena shield keeps him alive, but they've already taken out Demon Kite. This Lord is Onyx to take.
Oh wow, Keyboy! Oh! Grand Theft Orange! The MSP 2023 MVP just stole the orange buff right in Eman's face!
My jaw literally just dropped. I'm like, no way he's gonna get that.
Ring of Order, I did.
This has got to be so frustrating for RSGPH. It feels like every smart move that they think of, Onic is already right at the front door.
You know what's worse? Keyboy had nothing. He's building like weird little baby items, like elements to it. So it was just off of pure mechanics and timing.
Yep, it's, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? You can't win them all. You cannot win them all. But with this Lord pushing on, I want to see whether Onic is going to do the same thing, right? Are they just going to play possum and not walk with the waves? Or are they waiting for RSGPH to actually make the mistake?
It's a Luminous Lord marching up through top, and there is a closer wave in mid and bottom. So this is to RSGPH's benefit. They can actually do some damage control here, given that they have, again, relatively less than ideal wave clear, and Nats comes in.
I mean, gets pushed down now. Oh,
Hey.
Nearly a big turnaround for the side of RSGPH. CW, you gotta be careful there. He's gonna top himself up with that wave and with the help of Sands at the same time, but here we go. This is where it gets dangerous. Ooh, Keyboy. Iman needs to be respected as mid inhibitors down. Kyrie's coming in for the backline. The instantaneous Winter Truncheon. You're not even gonna be enough. Iman dies instantaneously. CW in the backline. A double for Kyrie. The Blazing Duet has chunked them all for Kyrie to eat them all up. Mistakes were made, and Onic are looking to close it out.
Just 2 defenders left, and the base goes down. Onic sweeps RSGPH.
Is it me, or is this one of the cleanest games we have seen from Onic thus far here in the playoffs?